Hey everybody! Okay, so today we are checking in with how this last pay period budget went. I can tell you already, we went over, but that's okay. In the back of my mind, I knew that stimulus was coming. I knew the tax return, the state tax return was due to come as well. And frankly, I just felt awful. If you don't know, I am pregnant, and we just found out recently. And I have not been feeling well. I'm feeling better now, thank goodness. But the eating out budget, whew, we did it. We did it this time. But again, we did actually have the money. We just hadn't previously allocated it. So you'll see what I'm talking about. But all right, let's jump into this. I'm going to bring you guys in closer. Okay. Let me get all this out of the way. I got all my little trackers. Oh, and I wanted to show you too, the expense tracker. What I do, I'm going to show you off to the side here. So for I don't use a separate page for the cash envelopes versus what comes out of the checking. So what I do is on the whole transaction page, anything, for instance here, let me bring it down, the gas. Now that's a cash envelope we do have. And what I do next to it is say to bank, and then I leave a little box. So once I've pulled that money out of the cash envelope and put it into my bank deposit envelope to take to the bank, I go ahead and check that off. So I do that, as you can see, for all those. Now I didn't do that one, but I did put it in there. So you'll see that's how I kind of track it. Otherwise, it gets messy for me. Now you might have a different way of doing that, and that's great, but I figured I'd just show that for anyone who kind of got stuck when it came to that part, like I did for a while there. So that's how I do that. All right, so let's jump in. Now, the total we brought in this month, which blows my mind, but again, it's a matter of timing. This was $92.39.67. And I'll tell you right now, that's the most I've ever had in my checking account in my entire life, ever, hands down. All right, and again, that's because we got stimulus. Now there's 4 of us. One's waiting, but there's 4 Earth side, if you will, people in our family, and so we got the 5,600. And then our tax return, I think it was just shy of 800. That was for state. Because no matter what I do, we seem to consistently overpay in state taxes. So, all right, so we got 92.39.67. Now, the bills, most of them were kind of to be expected. The T-Mobile, I'm still working with them to figure out what is going on exactly with that. That's higher, but you'll see that here in a minute. So for Epidemic Sound, that was 15. Pick Monkey, that was actually 0. Then Comcast, this is that 154.59. I'm sorry if y'all can hear my cat in the background. She is a vocal cat, to say the least. And it's nighttime, so she's getting squirrely. Okay, Kohl's, that regular payment was $27 per usual. Now T-Mobile, this was $263.87. I don't even know. So I have a feeling what I'm gonna need to do is actually go into the T-Mobile store by me. Luckily, the guys that are always working there are super cool, so I know they'll kind of walk me through what happened. Now the Walmart card was 39, and like I said before, that number is going to change a lot because not only do I have a balance on that card, but that's the card we use for groceries, for online grocery pickup. So although you'll see me put my groceries down below in cash envelopes, I don't actually take out cash for that. What I do is I leave that money in the checking account, and then at the end of the month I go ahead and pay whatever we use that card on as far as groceries is concerned, and I make my regular credit card payment. So this will probably vary quite a bit. It might go up a little bit, it might go down, but you get it. Okay, Chase was $3.13. Hulu was $5.99. Best Buy was $30.32. And then Nicor was $0. Because my debit card was used and I wasn't using it. So, excuse me. Someone used my debit card number, so I had to wait for a new card to come, and wouldn't you know it, when they canceled that card, it was the same day as the Nicor payment was due. So that's actually going to come out of the next check. I already paid it, but you won't see it till next time. Wells Fargo, 73. And just going back to that for a minute, any of you anytime, always keep an eye on that checking account, but especially around tax time or tax return time, and especially now with the stimulus, because I've got to imagine that there's going to be an uptick in, debit card fraud, credit card fraud, you name it. So keep a real close eye on all that. And then water, we knew was $0, but I leave it on there so I don't forget it for the alternate months when it is actually due. Okay, so that total was actually $921.77. And that would have made that $8,317.90. Okay, now here's where it went left, guys. All right, all right, medical, not bad. It was only $48.66. Grocery, as much as I want to be proud of myself that grocery amount, which I'll show you right now, $398.47, is under that 400 amount. Well, we overspent in eating out, so that's probably why I was under in that grocery. Okay, gas, we've got $1.38. Now I am going to go ahead and bump up the gas budget. I had a feeling I was going to have to, and it's proving to be true. Okay, and we both did in fact get our allowances. Household, we did spend $50 exactly, which was kind of crazy. I had some change in my car, so. And then eating out, here we go, guys. $185.94. Good Lord. Okay, honestly, I'm surprised that wasn't worse. I'm going to be 100% honest. For me, when I am not feeling well, my husband works during the day. Well, I do as well, but he works out of the home during the day. And I have a almost 3-year-old and a 14-year-old. So if I'm not feeling good, it takes everything in me just to keep up with them, throughout the day. And so dinner is one of those things I say, forget it. That's where I draw the line when I'm not feeling great. So I'm disappointed, but at the same time, it's like, well, let's just move on. It happened. I'm feeling better now, so that's a good thing. Miscellaneous. We went over this too, but that is okay, because that was actually due to a broken windshield. So, excuse me. That was a unavoidable? Yeah, unavoidable and unbudgeted thing, but that's all right. That's going to happen. We had a couple really windy days here, and we have so many trees around our home. Everyone does on the block. And so a branch just took its opportunity and made a mess. So, all right, now that total came out to $1166.31. And that brought this down to 7,151. You can tell I'm not used to having that much in the account. I can't even talk numbers that high. Okay, 7,151.59. Okay. Now, for the sinking funds, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line down all this because we filled all those and you watched me do it. And that was $380. And that made that total down to $67.71.59. Now, I am super excited about this part. So, if you watched in I believe it was my last video, I talked about how because of the fact that we're going to be having a baby soon, I wanted to make sure we start off focusing on savings first. And that was in the event that the stimulus didn't come through. Because down there to the last couple days, it was kind of like, well, is this actually going to happen? So my plan was, let's just have the goal of putting everything into savings. And then if the stimulus does hit, we're going to put that all into savings, which is great. Put most of the state tax return into savings. And with oh my gosh, y'all, I can't even talk. With what we already had in savings, that would start building a good amount. Because again, you never know what's going to happen. And for us, luckily, we were both still able to be employed during, everything with the pandemic. But we realized, had we not, we really didn't have much savings. We had the basic, 1,000 emergency fund, but really, it's not enough. We'll just put it that way. If one of us were to lose our job or something else, it's a good start. So if you're working towards that, don't let what I just said, bring you down as far as that's concerned. So what we did in fact put that stimulus Oh my gosh, now I can't even spell. Woo. Stimulus. Okay, now we put that 5,600 in there. And then I took part of that state return and we just put that in our emergency / baby savings. And so we put 600 in there. And then what I did, I'm going to bring you up here. Now that we have a good amount, I calculated it out based off our upcoming checks until the baby is supposedly due. And I think I'll be able to either alternate debt and savings or just split debt and savings. You know, put half of whatever's left after sinking funds into, you know, debt payment and the other half into savings. So that's what we're going to be hopefully doing, you know, from now on. So part of that I am going to do for the Kohl's card. I'm going to put in 400. Now, I haven't made that payment yet because I'm actually going to need to go in the store to do that. So 400. And after those three, there was a little bit left, and I decided I'm going to leave that in our checking for the checking buffer. What I'm doing with that checking buffer is ultimately somewhat building a month ahead fund. And should we need to use it in the meantime, that's fine too. It's there. But that's what that's going to be. So just the checking buffer. All right. Okay. So between the 5,600, the 600, 171.59, and 400, that's going to bring that amount down to zero. So that is awesome. It's been a real long time since I've been able to make a big lump money move into either savings or towards debt. So that feels pretty dang good. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about too is for those of you that are just starting out with budgeting, you see here that I get it down to zero. If you're just starting out, don't worry so much about that, because sometimes I feel like that can get overwhelming. Just get all this straight first, okay? You don't even need to be, you know, depending on your income, you may need to just get this straight first. You know, your basics, if we will, your bills and your monthly needs, okay? Get those straight first, because you're going to inevitably forget a bill, or you're going to have, you know, some old doctor bill resurface, you know, where the hospital billed separately and then the doctor billed separately, all that, you know how that goes. So don't feel like you need to bring it down to zero, but maybe just work on getting a little bit of that checking buffer up, so that if something like that comes through, you've kind of already got it. All right, and then see where you are a couple months down the road, and then maybe you can start in on sinking funds or just building up a regular savings account, you know. So just a thought I wanted to throw out there, because I know for me, some of these steps were really overwhelming, especially the sinking funds. My God, that took me a while to kind of wrap my head around. So if that's where you're at, don't worry about it. The ultimate goal is to make sure your bills are getting paid and your needs are being met. And then if you got some extra, great. And if you don't, that's okay too, because you will at some point. You know, we all start at different spots. We've all been in different spots. This was never a reality for me before. You know, with my oldest, I was a single mom for half her life. So, you know, Lord knows we didn't have much. So, that's all. Just a little inspo for you guys. And also, I wanted to talk a little bit about how thankful I am for you all. I'm not a subscriber count checker, or at least not regularly. And I saw that I reached over 100 subscribers, and that just blew my mind. And I want to thank you all for coming along with me on this. And I love seeing all your comments. I love seeing what you all suggest to do. I've gotten some great tips, some great encouragement, a couple video requests. And for those of you that requested the video, a follow-up on the cash envelopes, as far as designing, don't worry, that's coming. And yeah, I appreciate you guys a lot. And I'm just excited to see you guys, like what you guys are doing, the goals you're meeting, where you're slipping up. I mean, Lord knows we all do it. I'm not going to hide it from you. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you. And I'm excited to bring you along for the rest of this. Things are going to get interesting over the next few months. So, we'll see how it all goes. All right, you guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.